look to you and see what a great man is. Toiling day in and day out, trying to provide a better tomorrow. We admire you, especially those of us raising sons. We all try to emulate you, wanting to do the seemingly impossible that you do.
We see you stand, affirming that anything is possible. You went from preaching to chickens to preaching to the world. From an early age, you knew you had something to say, knowing that even though things are trying, they won't be one day.
We follow in your footsteps, taking in the path you've trailblazed in its powerful depths. These bold imprints are evidence of your incredible strength and endurance. And yes, we see you stand.
We look to you and see you take your towering position with all your hopes, dreams, and goals that you envisioned. You accepted the God-given call that only the bold answer. We see you stand.
We see you stand for justice, from the streets to Selma to Capitol Hill, leading a nonviolent charge to restore the world's social ills so that we will not be separated by God-given differences and ponder foolish, destructive, and rash infancies, but rather embrace each other, be inspired by one another, and live in harmony as sisters and brothers.
We saw you stand with SNCC, showing that youth is a powerful force of energy that creates change in a mighty way, showing that you're never too young to stand no matter what people say.
We see you stand for peace, against nonsensical violence that does not seem to cease. We see you stand for freedom, and even when they locked you up in jail, you knew that you were there for people's freedom everywhere.
You stand with the kind of faith that makes the whole world shake. Faith that urges you to lead a march over a bridge armed only with love and a backpack. And while your oppressor is armed and is backed by the law, making the situation becoming sticky and muddy, causing a Holy Sunday to turn awfully bloody.
We see you stand, knowing that we all must cross Edmund Pettus bridges in our life. And we may be beaten and suffer all sorts of strife, but we must endure and continue.
We see so many who stood before you. Some of the names we may not know to remember, but we live because of their fearless actions, because they never surrendered. We know they stood because now you stand.
We see you stand even as you face others' doubts, with detractors telling you to lay back and not act out. We see you stand. Know that your legacy will live. A whole new generation now stands because of what you did. We see you stand, and now we can say, yes, we can.
We see you stand, and now we have movements like Black Lives Matter, Gay Lives Matter, Hispanic Lives Matter, all lives matter. If that is not the case, it's like hanging the American flag proudly in tatters.
We see you stand, and in nonviolence, we march and hold our hands up.
We see you stand, even though now we can't breathe. One day we can if we fight on and believe.
We see you stand, and when you do, we see just who you are.
You are a trailblazer, a fearless risk taker,
Movement shaker, a leader,
An injustice defeater, a believer,
An equality beater, justice achiever,
a freedom defender,
a God lover, a loyal brother, a great man.
Justice Protestor, a faith keeper, a harvest reaper.
a seed sower, a peace grower.
a living legend. You are John Lewis, and yes, we see you stand.